Hey guys, what's good? So today's video, I wanted to go over some questions regarding the Instax Wide Evo. I've gone through some channels that have reviewed this camera, and I've seen some of these questions commonly asked throughout a handful of videos, and I wanted to answer some of these questions based on my own experience using this camera. I have over, I want to say 10 questions on my notes app here that I'm about to read, and let's get started. So the first question is, must the various effects and designs be decided and set before taking the picture, or can they be added after taking a picture but prior to printing? And here's a similar question. Can you apply the filters effects on pictures selected from previous shots memory or only on time of taking the picture? So basically they're asking if you can add the filters after taking the shot, and the answer is no, you can't. Unfortunately, you can't. And I'm hoping if Fujifilm, if you're listening, hello, if you're listening, please give us a firmware update and allow us to do some post-processing after taking the shots. That would be so nice, because for someone like me, I want to get down and start shooting my photos. Boom, 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 boom. And then I can take a moment of my time and look for my favorite photo and do some post-processing. Being able to add those filters and effects after taking the shots. You have like the iPhone app, shots that you can take with your phone, or like Instagram. After taking the shot, you can add filters. So being able to do that on this would be so helpful. It would be so helpful, right? I think everybody can agree to that. Next question. If printing from a phone, can the effects be applied to the prints? First of all, there is an app for the Instax Wide Evo. There's a dedicated app that you can actually download right now, and you can connect that with your phone to your camera. Basically the printer. You can only do some basic edits before printing in a photo with the dedicated app. So you can only change the brightness, the contrast, the saturation, the print mode, which is natural and rich mode. And then you can like zoom in. So let's say you're on the app. You can zoom in and zoom out with your photo. You can also rotate the photo in the frame. All right, real quick, I missed a key detail when explaining this. So in the Instax Wide app, there are about 18 or 19 filters compared to the filters that's built into this camera. There are only 9 in here. And that's a bit questionable between the app and the camera. Why is there more filters on there? And the filters are very similar between each other. And the other thing is that, yeah, the Wide app, you don't have the effects or the borders that you can add to your photos. So that's something that you need to do prior to taking a shot with the Instax Wide Evo. Honestly, I don't think Fujifilm's going to do that. They're going to want you to do everything in this camera versus the app. You already know I'm going with this. I think it's a business decision. Next question, do you know if the rechargeable battery is replaceable? I've read that it holds about 300 charges. Would hate to throw it away, the camera, if the battery dies. And here's another similar comment. I don't like the built-in battery. It looks like after 3 to 5 years, it's already in the basura, in the trash, due to a battery problem. So what I've read, or what I've learned from other videos, that this is the battery compartment here. So I've unscrewed the little cover, and you can see there's, from what I'm seeing here, it's like a chip, I want to say, and it's attached to some wires, and it's basically wrapped around with this type of paper. And I think that's where the battery is. And I want to assume that the battery that's attached to this chip is replaceable. If not, then that sucks for us, right? It is going to end up in the basura. So hopefully hopefully this battery in here, if Fujifilm, like if you want to respond to this, let us know if this is a replaceable battery. We'd love to know. We'd love to know. All right, next question. Is there manual control of shutter and aperture, or can exposure only be set automatically? So you can't control the shutter or aperture, but you can change the exposure compensation. You can do it here by pressing the menu. It's the first option up here, and basically you can, you can turn up the exposure, or you can turn it down. That's all you can do. I wish we had more options, because this is a digital camera. You can do that with like these older cameras, right? You can change, you have flexible options, but for this camera, it doesn't. And hopefully, again, if Fujifilm does release a new firmware update, allowing us to do some modifications with the shutter, I'm pretty sure, yeah, the aperture is going to be fixed. But if we're able to, play with the shutter, maybe that could be an option for us. Worth probably the price tag, I guess, because people do think like, yeah, this camera is a little too expensive, and with that price, there should be more flexibility. And I understand it from that perspective, right? Next question, does it have a glass lens? Yes, it does. You can see that shine there. This is a question that hasn't been asked, but what I've experienced using this camera. So does this camera lag? So I got a chance to use it, and I like the fact that you can autofocus with this camera, but there are times when I was trying to use it, when you half press it, it would respond like 10 to 20 seconds later. Like there was some type of lag. So it starts going off. It starts going beep, 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 like that, because there's some type of lag. So hopefully, again, another update for this camera would solve that issue. But there is a lag experience that I've encountered when using this camera when trying to autofocus. Next question, is there any reason to get this if you already own the Instax Wide link printer and can you print pictures taken from your mirrorless camera? For that second part, yes, you can take pictures with whatever camera and print your photos through the Instax Wide Evo. And then for the first part of that question, is there any reason to get this if I already have the printer? That's a question for you to answer. If you want a two-in-one solution, but if you have the printer, if you just want to print out photos from your phone or your digital camera, whatever camera you use that you upload onto your phone to print out on your printer, you can do that. You don't need to spend another $350 on this camera. Just save yourself some money. And there are definitely cheaper options that you can do, but people are going to argue, yeah, it's a little too expensive for my taste, and it doesn't have this and that. But if you want a two-in-one, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. And for this camera to be sold out everywhere, you already know they're doing something. You already know they're doing something. Okay? Camera's being sold out, and it's not in the hands of a lot of people right now. And once it starts going out to the public, even to those bigger influencers, this camera is going to build a lot of hype, and it's going to be sold out. I'm already predicting that. Next question. How does the prints look when using the 5 megapixel crop? So you can choose to shoot wide or crop. And shooting crop is definitely going to lower the quality. I've seen it, and it's not that great. And then following up to the question, can you see the pixels? If using a magnifying glass, can you see the pixels then? Like, come on, man. Are the people that you're going to be working with, or the things that you're going to be shooting, are you going to be using a magnifying glass? I'll leave these two photos up here. You compare them. Which one is digital, which one's not? Give you guys 5 seconds. Think about it. All right? So you can tell one of these photos is digital, printed on the Instax film. You give it a go there. But if you just want to shoot analog, if you want that fully analog experience, just shoot with the Instax Wide 400 or the previous models. Any camera that's not hybrid. If you want that fully analog experience, shoot with this camera. That's all. Like, for you guys to like really like pixel peep on this.
Oh my God.
Oh, come on. Like,
hell no, man.
Rewind this video, compare the two photos. You can tell which one is digital, which one's not. Last question, are you happy with the quality of the prints from photos taken by the camera? From my opinion, from what I've experienced printing out photos from this, I have mixed feelings. A lot of the photos came out a little too overexposed for my taste. Like this shot here, I have a digital file of it taken from the camera. And for some reason, the printout is a little too overexposed for my taste. Maybe not that shot, but well, yeah, that shot and then this shot. Like, I have the digital file for it and it's just not the same as this. Like, straight out of the camera, printing that digital file to this, it is a little overexposed. And a lot of the photos ended up being like that. But there are some photos that I actually like when it's perfectly balanced like this one. Like, it's not too overexposed. The rich printed mode, if you choose that option, the colors are too saturated for my taste, and I kind of don't like that. So if you want the natural mode photo, you compare these two. This is oversaturated and this is the natural mode. I would choose natural mode, but again, I have mixed feelings because a lot of the photos that I've taken with this camera are a little too overexposed. So you can see this one. Yeah, the highlights are a little too bright, but when it's printed, it just goes overboard. I know this one's a little overexposed, digital file, but the printouts end up being the highlights are just overblown for some reason. Maybe I have a dud. Maybe this first release of this camera is not great. I don't know, but I like some of the photos. Some of the photos came out well, like this one. This one's okay, but I think I have some room for some exploration on trying to understand on how to get a perfect print. But you know, like, I don't want to waste time trying to figure that out. I want to be able to just print these photos and not worry about like, oh, it's going to be overexposed when I didn't even touch the exposure, because you can actually change the option. Before printing the photo, you can actually change the print brightness. And I didn't even touch that. So for it to come out straight out of the camera looking way too overexposed for my taste, that's just not something that I want to continue experiencing. So that's, yeah, again, mixed feelings, and I hope, you know, I get that solved if I look into it more. Anyways, that concludes the Q&A. I hope this gives you guys some insights. If you already have it on pre-order, or if you're thinking about buying this, I hope some of these answers do help some of you guys out. And in the next video, I'm gonna go through some comments throughout these other videos. Some of you guys went a little too wild on it. You guys expressed some disappointment, some demands, some features that you really wanted on this camera. Some of you guys kind of made fun of it. Some of you guys say like, why would I buy this if I could do this? Like, a lot of people have expressed those feelings. They are all valid. And I do wanna give in my 2 cents regarding these comments, kind of counter arguing with what you guys said. And hopefully you guys can take this camera for what it can do for you and what it can do for others. And now keep in mind, this camera is a hybrid camera. It's a hybrid. Fujifilm did not say this is a fully analog camera. It is a hybrid camera, so remember that. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions regarding this camera, let me know below. I'd love to answer it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.